All right, first of all, I want to say congratulations to Coach Sanders and that Colorado team. I thought they played really, really well. They beat us in all three phases, and I have to tip my hat to them and say good job. I also want to thank all the alums and all the fans. You had a great atmosphere today. I apologize that we didn't play better. We didn't give them enough to cheer about. It was awesome to have, Khalil here and all of our football alumni and all the alumni that came back for this game. And so obviously we are extremely disappointed and we have a lot of work to do as a football team. And where we're at right now is 100% my fault. And so I have to get to work fixing it. And, there's some opportunities there. There were some bright moments, but not nearly enough to sustain drives and keep the ball moving against a really active defense. And then I thought Shadur was fantastic. I think he's just an excellent football player.
All right, please raise your hand and wait to be called upon. We'll start with Justin.
So the decision to start off the game with an onside, what went into that?
So we were watching them all year. I really think we can play that better. I think when Jackson looks at it, I think it was there to be had if he had just kind of fallen on it, and he kind of seemed like he was waiting for it, and that's one of those things where you kind of can't wait. You got to go. You got to just put your face on it and get to the ground and go dog pile rules on that play. And just with their alignment, we thought it was there, and we thought it was a chance to steal a possession. And Tyler, with his skills, can really put the ball in a good place for it. And so that was kind of our plan, was to try and steal the opening possession.
Matt Reynolds in here.
Brent, a couple for you. Just to follow up on the onside. You saw the look, you had the alignment you needed right there, but just philosophically for your team, do you think it maybe put them in a tough spot, emotionally not getting that at that point, and maybe put you in a precarious position?
I don't think so. Like when we talked about it with them, like they were like, yes, let's do it. We showed them the look, and everybody was all in on that. You know what I mean? So I don't. Do I wish we had gotten it? Of course, right? But we were being aggressive coming out the blocks there, and we went for it, and we just didn't get it.
And then offensively, do you think right now everybody on your offense has a good idea of what their assignments are with all of your sets, or do you think that still needs quite a bit of work?
I think some of the people that were unavailable to us have put some guys out there that don't have quite as much experience playing, and that exposed us a little bit today.
Jenna in the back.
In the last couple of games, it seemed like you guys would get into the red zone and then stall, settle for a field goal. In this game, you guys punted 7 times. You only got into Buffalo's territory 3 times.
Yeah.
Where do you kind of think went wrong offensively in that aspect?
That's a good question. Obviously we need to play better on offense, and we need to give our quarterback and our playmakers opportunities to move the football effectively. And I think, from the start, I thought Colorado had a good plan with some of the edge stuff they were doing, and they hit us with a couple pressures. And so we really have to evaluate that and think about, what can we do with the men that we're playing with, and kind of lean into their strengths and their level of experience and just give us a chance to play clean football.
Michael.
This season obviously hasn't gone the way that you had hoped. There were a lot of expectations for Arizona coming off a 10-3 campaign. What do you think has gone wrong? I know that's kind of a big picture question to ask after this game, but what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I think the biggest part is that I just need to do a better job coaching this team. And that's where we're at, and it's really quite that simple. And so as hard as that is for me to say, that's the reality of the situation. I'm the head football coach. It's my job to get us right.
Jason.
Earlier this season, there was a change of play callers, and you tried different things on offense, but what gives you confidence that the offensive issues can be fixed this season?
Well, I think there's a lot of football left to play, right? And I think some of the things that have complicated that has been a little bit of a revolving door of like who's available on game day. Some of those were game day decisions, and some of them couldn't work, and that's the way it goes. And so I think we have to make sure that we are simple enough and clean enough that we give ourselves a chance to move it consistently. And I think that was the hard part about today is, because we had moved the ball well against everyone we played against so far. Stalled out in the red zone, against Texas Tech here. But that part of it, we'd still moved the ball between the 20s, right? But we didn't do that today.
I know most
most of the time injuries are just like a freak thing and luck and all that, but is there any concern about maybe the team's conditioning or anything that is leading to the injuries starting to pile up?
I think that's something that we have to evaluate, you know, and I really do. I think that's, injuries are such a weird thing that way, but like our team, myself, all of us are super concerned with where that's at, because it's a rare, where we're at is rare air for me. So we have to evaluate every aspect of what we're doing, I think, in terms of how we condition them and how we train.
Middle row, far right.
From the anticipation from this coming up game, I mean, there's some stars on that team, but you guys also have your own stars. Was there some mental, like, rigidness within the team coming into the game and during the play? Because it just didn't seem to flow as well as you guys liked it.
Like, honestly, I think that was just 100% Colorado getting after us. That's what I think. I think they played better than we did today. And that's why I'm saying that I have to get this thing right, because what we put out there today was not nearly good enough.
Michael?
There were a couple situations today where there was someone got hurt, Isaiah Johnson during warm-ups, and then Jacob Mano looked like he got hurt celebrating. What did you see, or what do you know about those two situations?
The warm-up one was crazy. I mean, everyone does that. You line up and you run a couple run plays just to kind of get guys used to banging into each other. I'm not sure how they got tangled up, so that was unfortunate, obviously incredibly unfortunate. And then Jacobs, I saw it happen. Like it just looked funny. It looked like it just got grabbed after we made the play on third down maybe. Yeah, so I was just, I don't know. Like, we'll look at it on tape and we'll try and figure out what it was.
All right, back row, left side here.
Feels like you guys have had like a lot of usage of that kind of orbital motion. Why'd you guys get away from that this game?
Which one?
That kind of like orbital motion where that, like in the past few weeks where the running back will go around that quarterback type, kind of like to get a lead before getting the ball.
Jumping him, you know. What we're trying to do is we're trying to obviously not tip the defense on what side we're running the ball with where the back is, you know. Sometimes going into a game you feel like you don't need it because they don't set their front to the back or they don't adjust to the back, so that was why.
You guys were down 31-7. You had a 4th and 5 with about 9 minutes to go, and decided to punt. What went into that decision?
The fact that we'd gotten 7 first downs in the day, or less than that at the time, just that part of it, not wanting to give them the ball a good field position.
Second from the right, in the middle.
What was the morale like with the team after the game, and what was kind of your message to the team?
What do you think? You know, obviously everybody's crushed, you know, from top to bottom and everybody in between. My message to them is that the only way forward is together, and the only way forward is together working hard. And I really don't have a better answer for you than that. I know this, when you lose games, the outside world wants to pull you apart, and that's the one thing we can't let happen.
Justin?
With Rhino going down, how do you look at just your situation at tackle?
We're looking at it, you know what I mean? We got to see if we can get Michael ready to play. He played a little bit today. He's obviously really green, so we're trying to figure that out.
Following up on the message to the players, you know, you've said since you came here that this is, you know, a group that's going to be very player-led. How do you lean on these guys? How do you lean on the leaders of your team to keep the morale up, keep things from spiraling at this point, without leaning too hard on them and saying, you know, it's all on your shoulders? Now, how do you find that balance there?
Well, I think I've made it clear that it's all on my shoulders, right? So, but for them, I think, you know, one of those things that's complicated is that, you know, not knowing what Jacob's status is, but 3 of our 6 team captains are unavailable, right? You've got the guys where you normally lean on leadership from. You know, that part of it is tough. And so I do think, you know, Gunnar and Stukes have been fantastic on the sideline. I think even last week, Jacob, when he was ejected, was an awesome, you know, example of leadership in game. And so I do think we have really good kids here, and I think they will do a great job staying together and keeping us moving forward. It's the only choice we have.
Last question to Michael.
Jenna kind of asked about this, but you come into the week talking about not getting Noah hit as much, protecting him better, and you guys gave more sacks today than you had the whole season. What do you think went wrong in that particular area?
I think some of that probably has to do with what we are trying to execute offensively, right? We're trying to hit some bigger throws down the field, and those things take a little bit longer to develop, and we're probably going to have to take a look at that and see if, how quickly can we get the ball out of his hand. And I think that's always a challenge because you want to be able to take shots, you want to be able to take advantage of T-Mac and you like all those things, but sometimes you have to be smart about how we protect Noah, and that's the ongoing conversation for our offense. I think that's something that we'll spend a lot of time working through tomorrow.
All right, that's our time.
Thank you all.